Hi, I'm Nova Tower, broker and partner at Waypoint Brokers Collective and your host at the For Real Estate podcast. Recently, Waypoint became the first and only fully green designated brokerage in Maine, and to honor that, we are kicking off a 10-episode series on sustainability in real estate. And we are getting started today here in this amazing mobile recording studio provided generously by the team at OpBox and in conjunction with Nonsensible Productions. Our host, Rising Tide, is providing the beer and the location and the good music you might hear in the background. They didn't order the traffic noise, so please forgive us for that, but we're here on site having fun, and the audio should share that. Over the next few months, we're going to be interviewing Maine business leaders and some folks throughout the country who are doing really interesting things and have interesting perspective on home performance and sustainability within the real estate industry. And if you're wondering what the heck that means, don't worry. I get that question a lot, and we will be talking about that as well. So make sure you follow along and check in and listen if you are someone, homeowner, a would-be homeowner, a seller, someone interested in investing in this space, a developer. If you're thinking about sustainability within real estate, then check us out, listen, and you might learn a few things. As a green designated broker and just a mom and community member here in Maine, I'm passionate about this topic because Maine has some really lofty climate goals. We've set a goal for ourselves to be carbon neutral by 2045. And I think as real estate professionals, I like to think of us as sort of stewards for the built environment. And we at Waypoint really want to be a part of the solution and part of reaching that climate goal. And that's really why we're talking about this stuff. We want to spread this message. Together at Waypoint, we've made the decision to go green because we are trying to amplify that message to the community and really support and advocate for it. And that's what this sustainability series is all about, is bringing some information and knowledge and some passion out to the community of listeners. Hi, welcome to the For Real Estate podcast.
Hi, Nova.
I'm so happy to have you here. I'm sitting here with Tess O'Brien, VP of Partnerships at EnergySage. Yeah. And Tess, tell us a little bit about what EnergySage is. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so EnergySage is actually the country's leading marketplace to help energy customers learn about and comparison shop for clean energy options like rooftop solar, battery storage, community solar, and now heat pumps as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so what does that mean, like an online marketplace? Like, explain that to people who haven't been to the website,
Sure.
like how it works.
Yeah, so we are focused on doing two things. One is helping people understand these, what are probably complicated new technologies for most people. Mm-hmm. It's typically a first-time purchase for folks, and so making sure that they really understand the technology, the installation that's required, how the equipment works, what equipment is good equipment, how to vet a contractor, what expected costs should be, and of course, what kind of savings people might see. And so we're doing that through objective educational information, articles, videos, infographics. The second thing we do is help people shop. And so our platform works a lot like a kayak.com, trying to help people get multiple options from vetted contractors to compare in an apples to apples format the options they have available. And so that we currently have for rooftop solar, battery storage, and a new experience for community solar options, which I know we're going to talk a bit more about, and heat pumps as well. So people have the digital experience to shop. Takes a couple minutes to register their property to then get quotes. Phone numbers are not required, and so it's really like a hassle-free shopping experience. And folks get the support of a vendor-neutral expert who is there to advise them. So answer any questions they've got, just someone to help coach them along the way.
This is incredible. So it sounds like it's really a consumer protection type of service as well as a marketplace.
Yes.
Which is amazing because I feel like as an industry, solar and heat pumps, these things they're evolving so quickly that I don't think, society-wide there's an ingrained understanding of this stuff. And it is really overwhelming to a lot of people who just don't know where to start or who to call for service.
It's true.
Or how much it should cost.
Yep.
It's not like we could call up our friends who have installed solar on their roofs. Like there's not a whole, it's still emerging and growing. And so it's not like 3 dozen people who have installed this type of stuff and you can ask them their opinions. So it's incredible.
That's why EnergySage exists, honestly, is that years ago, it's gotten a lot better, but people would just get haggled by solar companies. And that's like a really human experience. Everybody has been haggled for something. And so we wanted to create an experience where people could shop without that experience and just really make a confident, informed decision that they feel good about and kind of know this is a fair price for a good quality system from a vetted contractor.
Does your service do anything to help inform people about the local incentives and rebates that are available to them as well? Is that a component of it?
It is, yes. So we have a lot of articles that explain the rebates and incentives that are available. People today have a lot of questions about the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, and how that applies to them. And it's also integrated into the marketplace experience. So quotes that customers get reflect the incentives.
Oh, great. Talk about your quotes. How customized are they to the individual? I mean, how does that part work?
Right. So rooftop solar quotes are pretty custom. So every property is different. It depends on the amount of electricity the customer uses. It depends on the type of roof they have, the angle of the roof, the direction of the roof. And so those quotes are custom. And the installers we work with are submitting those quotes using our standardized templates. And that's what allows us to present quotes in an apples to apples format. So standardized visually, kind of metric by metric, side by side, but we also control for the underlying assumptions, like the utility inflation rate of prices for utility costs, the panel degradation rate. And these are things that if a consumer were to compare 3 options from different contractors on their own, it's really hard to compare 3 different quotes in 3 different formats. And so we're controlling for that. Community solar, on the other hand, those options are pretty standardized, and so it's looking at different project and the terms of those, and the only difference from one customer to the next, because it's not on your property, is the amount of your subscription based on the electricity that you use.
Okay. That's really so useful. Like, I can't actually wait to get on there myself and use this. I'm suddenly realizing that this is a service that I really need myself. So I want to dive into the community solar thing, because I think, from my conversations with you guys before this is the thing that is so exciting to me about what you're doing. I feel, in this world of sustainability and home performance, I see that really most of these products and services are targeting homeowners for obvious reasons, right? Homeowners are the decision makers about the properties they're in. But what I see is that in a lot of cases, renters who could really benefit from home performance are really being left out and not necessarily targeted. And your service is so unique in that it is totally equal opportunity. So no matter whether you're a homeowner, you're a renter, no matter what your income level is, no matter where you live in the state, there is a service that can help you reduce your utility cost with EnergySage. So can you explain how that works and what that means to EnergySage, knowing that that's a service you're able to provide?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of community solar, right? So until recently, folks had to own a property to install panels, or they had to go through a more complicated process to get their landlord to install solar panels. Community solar, it's the accessibility, right? So anybody with an electric bill in Maine can sign up for a community solar project. And we, on our website, are listing different providers with different projects. Folks can click in and learn about the terms of those projects. They can see where they are on a map. A lot of people like to choose a local solar project so they can drive by and show their kids, like, hey, that's where our electricity is sourced from. Which is really cool. And that's the community factor, which people like. And so on our site, folks can compare the different options and go ahead and actually subscribe to a project right through our site, but with a third-party provider.
That's awesome. So what do they need to know? Like if you're a renter coming or a homeowner, I mean, if you're any consumer and you're coming to the website, what are the things you should have prepared? How much time does this take? Just tell us the logistics so people can be set up for success here.
Yeah. So for community solar, it's helpful to have your utility account number handy. And so pull that up. And then you want to type in your zip code, select your utility, and then it'll show you the projects that you're eligible for. The typical percent savings, so that's like net savings on your electric bill, is about 15% in Maine, which is great, right? And you support solar in your area. It's kind of a win-win, which is why it seems like a no-brainer and sometimes too good to be true, since it's a new option. People are kind of wondering, is this real, right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, what's the catch here?
So
because your service is free, right?
There's so EnergySage is free. And so the providers we're working with are offering about 15% savings. If you subscribe to the solar project that they've got listed on the marketplace experience. And it's because of project economics that they're able to do that. I started working in the renewable energy industry in 2006. And back then, you had to pay more to support clean energy, and it was like a feel-good thing that people did to see renewables advance. And here we are, which is really cool that it's a savings product now.
That's amazing. That's an interesting view that you have that long-term view and can remember the days when it wasn't. It was a moral return on investment, maybe, but not a financial one.
And so, back then, like millions of people did that across the country back in the day. But so community solar as a market is projected to surpass the rooftop solar installations in the country in the years to come. It's currently available in about a dozen states and DC as well. And there's another like 10 or 12 states that have legislation pending that will enable this within their state. So Maine is one of the early states to be able to offer this to its residents.
That's really cool. I'm excited about this too because I'm someone who I own 3 properties and not one of them has a rooftop that's really appropriate, or I should say that is really optimized for solar. And so it's something that really I think makes a lot of sense for us to engage with as well. Yeah, cool.
Great.
So I want to talk about partnerships. You guys have some really big, exciting news, and I'm going to let you tell us about it.
Sure.
Who have you recently partnered with here in Maine?
We have partnered with the City of Portland with the Sustainability Office, which is extremely exciting. They're a really great team. They have a lot of cool programs, and so we're excited to be able to offer solar guidance to residents of Portland, both for on-site or rooftop solar, with the option for battery storage, and of course community solar, which is, as we've talked about, really exciting. And the awareness is the gap right now, and so a program like a city education and awareness program is huge to really help people understand, okay, what is this? I've heard about this. I might have gotten some mailers that I can't make sense of. Is this legit? How do I answer all my questions? And now the city is a resource to do that. So we're really thrilled to be partnering with them to help. They have some big goals. So the 80% reduction by 2050 in the city's emissions is the target. And so, engaging residents and helping them find a pathway for their own property is one of the tickets to do that.
Yeah, that's outstanding. My understanding is Maine is a newer market for you guys, that you're emerging here, but you're well established throughout the country. I mean, EnergySage has been around for a long time. I have sort of 2 questions in this. Is one, talk to us a little bit about your national reach, and then talk to us about what is the 5-year plan for EnergySage? What can we expect as Mainers to keep an eye on and see coming from you guys here locally?
Yes, great question. So we were founded in 2012 originally with funding from the Department of Energy, and so their Sunshot Award grant program gave us our initial funding to launch the marketplace experience back in 2013. And that is what really got us our start. And so we focused on rooftop solar out of the gates, and have obviously expanded since then, but are mostly national. So we're operating in, I think, over 42 states now, plus DC. So around the country, helping homeowners and small commercial customers and nonprofit customers look at rooftop solar for their property. We added battery storage in several years ago, and then launched community solar a couple years ago as well in the states where that's available. And as we look ahead, we're really focused on heating and cooling right now. And so air source heat pumps is our main focus from a new product perspective right now. We're in a handful of states at the moment, but have a pretty aggressive expansion plan. And so Maine is one of the states that we will be expanding that to. And the model's the same, right? Help customers understand the option. And then help them comparison shop. So right now we're helping customers get a gauge, an estimate of what it might cost to install an air source heat pump, whether that's ductless or ducted, and then how much they might be able to save, and then connect them with installers in their area.
Talk to me about how those installers make it on the EnergySage list. What kind of vetting are you doing to make sure that those installers that our consumers are reaching are qualified and really, the best that the area can offer?
That's really important, right? We want to make sure customers have a good experience. We are effectively connecting customers with vetted contractors, and so it's important to us that they are high quality and they are experienced. So we, look for the basics, of course, the right licenses, insurance, and certifications. And then we're looking for the right amount of experience, the right reputation too. So we'll look at their reviews on other sites, ratings with the Better Business Bureau. Want to make sure this is a sound company. We even go one step farther though. We talked earlier about getting haggled, right? And that's something we want to avoid. And so we're actually interviewing the management of all of these companies to make sure that they have the right sales ethos. We don't want installers who use the high pressure sales tactics, the misleading tactics. That's not what we want customers to experience on our platform. And so we're trying to screen out for that from the start. Yeah. Every contractor that we work with has a standardized set of terms, standardized pricing, and a dedicated partner success manager who's there to really help them as a contractor succeed on the platform, connect with customers. They're sharing feedback from our consumer-facing energy advisor team with the installers to help make sure that they're getting coached and can really be successful. As much as we are a consumer advocate, we do really want to help democratize opportunity for the contractors too and make sure that they are able to succeed. And so that's kind of part of it being like a two-sided marketplace model.
Yeah. I was just thinking as you were talking, as you guys are growing into the space in Maine, if you need any referrals for contractors, let us know over at Waypoint, because we know most of them in the area, and we've certainly trial and error tested them over the years. And I'm really glad to hear you're doing that, because I think for me, one issue and really like a concern that I end up having for my clients that I get very protective of with is, especially with heat pumps, I see it so often where a client will buy a house, they'll pull the trigger, they'll install a bunch of heat pumps. Maybe they're trying to get off oil entirely or get off gas entirely, so they'll do a fairly big project. They'll install, 4, 5, 6 heads.
Okay.
So big money we're talking about. It's a big investment. And I get the phone call, 6 months later where they say, we didn't ask you for a referral. We called this company we found and they came and they gave us a quote and we did it. But now my electric bill is, $800 to $1,000 a month, and I don't understand. It's like more than we were spending on oil. And all too often the answer to that is because, someone came and installed a split who knows how to install a split but doesn't know how to look at a home holistically and to understand the performance of the home and to understand how the heat pumps would perform in that space, or maybe how to install them from an optimized way. Like a common one is, that condenser can take 3 splits and you have, 3 floors. So let's put 1 split on each floor and throw the condenser outside. But that's a really inefficient way to run a condenser. And if people don't understand that and they're working with a contractor and they don't understand that maybe that contractor's not as experienced or not doesn't have that kind of knowledge about building science, then they could really end up financially hurting from that. Yeah. So it sounds like EnergySage has the potential to kind of eliminate some of that. Obviously people call for referrals to a number of places, but if they don't have someone locally that they can check in with, or if they want a more apples to apples view, then that's what EnergySage can help them with.
That's right. Yeah, we would not hear stories like that ever. Yeah. It's sad and it's frustrating because it's big money.
Big money.
And So access to good quality resources is really
Yeah.
important. And education is such a big component to this.
Yeah, definitely.
So and brokers too really need to be able to have confidence in who they're referring people to. And yeah, that's why we're trying to do more work in this space, actually, is to get more into the real estate side and to make sure that people are informed and educated. There's also a workforce development component that I'm hearing more and more about, amongst like utilities and state agencies and local governments and other partners that want to make sure that there are plenty of qualified, experienced, well-trained heat pump contractors in market. That's a big focus.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that you think we should know about EnergySage, about what Mainers should be looking for, or have we covered it?
I think we've covered it pretty well. Yeah, there's a lot of good options out there, and so just encouraging folks to like take a look and make a choice.
And we will be doing that at Waypoint. I will say we've also, I think I can say this, that we've also partnered with EnergySage to help spread that message to our clients in our network as well. So we look forward to seeing our clients benefit from your service as well.
Yeah. We are excited to partner with you on that.
Yeah.
And folks that are interested can head to EnergySage.com. So EnergySage is like green, like wise. And we're here to help.
Awesome. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming out and talking to me.
You bet. This was really fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Thank you.
And